Hello and welcome to the Pioneer Trail. This is the main trail on my ePortfolio. This video begins at the Home tab, and you can see at the Home tab you have the introductory video which will explain to you how to navigate this site. And the main part, or the main reason for this introductory video is to explain that on the Guided Tour tab there are two possibilities of videos. There's the Pioneer Trail, which is the main trail, and the Bullet Trail, which is shorter and more direct, and it is located right underneath this video that you're watching. Underneath the two videos you will see the actual components of each of the trails, the Pioneer Trail and the Bullet Trail. Each page has a title here, and each one is hyperlinked, so if you wish to navigate this way, you may also do that. And at the bottom of each page you will see that the navigation for each specific trail is also there, with a direct link to home and a direct link to the rubric. So this is the Pioneer Trail that you're watching, so we will go to the next. As you can see from the main menu, Guided Tour then brings you to the inquiry process. And these are the overarching questions and sub-questions that I have used to guide me through the creation of this portfolio. As you see on this page, every time you see one of these icons, you can click on it. It will take you directly to the UBC Met course description for each course identified. The learning goals for eTech 565A are listed here, and they also helped guide me through the creation of the portfolio. Then, as you can see, the final component of this tab is the rubric, and it shows up early in your tour of the portfolio because you get a chance to read about it, and then you have a chance to actually look at the rubric and see how it is organized, so that as you work your way through the portfolio you'll be thinking about how you're going to assess it. And I greatly appreciate your efforts in that. Continuing along, the metaphor then is explained in some detail so that you understand why I chose this metaphor and how it fits into each page of the portfolio. Each section is identified and created in a similar manner. So under the Pioneer metaphor we have the Conestoga, the Caravan, the core courses, and my pioneering history. And as you saw, the Conestoga is what we call the Pioneer's Wagon, and so I related that to what would you call the vehicle to guide me in my pioneering journey into educational technology. A number of these Conestogas becomes a caravan, and I explained how that also fits with the theme and the metaphor in this portfolio. Then we go into the core courses and explaining how that fits. And the first core course is eTech 500, and then the pages are identified and created similarly. We start with an understanding of the course, some artifacts, a general reflection, and then we go into reflecting toward the future. And I want to thank a peer in this class who, upon doing a peer review, suggested that questions such as these would be really good guiding questions as I go through the reflection for each of the courses. So I took that to heart and used it because it was a great idea, and I want to thank you for that. Again, eTech 510 set up in the same manner. You'll notice these are technology artifacts, and the written artifacts are identified. These will open in either Scribd or they will open in a Word document or a PDF. So each page format is is identified and set up in the same way. ETech 511, another core course. And ETech 512. You can see that they're set up exactly that way. The next page in this trail, or the next stop along this trail, is my pioneering history. And what I've done is I've gone from the present to my very first year of teaching and identified how I've used technology and my progress, just in bullet form, very briefly, so that I've included that in my e-portfolio. Leadership is a significant component of a pioneer's journey, and so I've included how that relates. Then I've gone along to the realities faced on pioneer journey and related that to course content, artifacts, reflection, same format. Continuing along to knowledge building, ETech 530, artifacts, reflection. So you get the idea that the formatting is similar on purpose so that there's familiarity as you're going through the content. ETech 500. Now ETech 500 shows up about 3 times in the portfolio. First time is to introduce the core course, which was here, and talks about the literature review, the proposal, and then the actual final paper. Then where we were at this next time was putting theory into practice, and it was the actual implementation of that final paper. And it'll show up again under challenges when we talk about the pieces that we need to continue to work on. Storytelling, significant component of a pioneer's life, how that relates. Then we go into how that jives with the coursework in the MET program. And we go through more electives that I've taken, and again each page set up in a very similar way. I've added this last piece on every page, next steps, because I don't believe that this portfolio is the end result. I think it's a snapshot in time, shows you where I've come along, how I've progressed through the MET program, but it's certainly by no means the end of my learning. The next steps are identified for each significant component. Then we get along to the challenges. There's ETech 500, as I've identified earlier, and other challenges are around, so this is the ETech 500. Other challenges are around the safe, legal, and ethical use of the internet, and there's a lesson here under the artifacts on plagiarism and next steps. So if you can see how that page was organized, safe fits with the document for safe, caring, and orderly schools. Ethical, everyone's responsibility to be ethical online, and then legal, which flows into the article or the lesson on plagiarism. Moving along to learning experiences and the lessons that we learn along the way, and this fits again with more coursework and more artifacts. Going on to renewal, in every pioneer's life there has to be R&R and a chance to have some reflection time and some time to be rejuvenated. And again, philosophy shows up here because it's through your philosophy that you actually take the time and have that rest and relaxation. Tools are very important, and what I've done here is I've incorporated and listed the tools that I've used, not only in creating this e-portfolio, but the ones that I've used the majority of the time, or that I've used often in the creation of course assignments. Summary, you can find the summary here of my learning in the program, and what I've done is I've reflected upon the inquiry questions that I set out at the very beginning, And then the rubric shows up here again with an explanation of the rubric and a chance to complete the rubric. And if you go to next again, it'll take you to the page of references, and underneath is the references for the images. I've separated those out. So at this point you can go back to the rubric, or you can go back to the beginning. I want to thank you for walking through this ePortfolio, the Pioneer Trail, which is the main journey covering every page in the ePortfolio. Thank you very much.